And good evening and welcome back on this Monday, March 4th edition of Size Eyes on the Skies. Coming up tonight.
Calm before the storm right now. I'll have an update on your snowfall forecast coming up.
Plus, Clayton Short is in the studio to have a look at how that storm is affecting the weather around the nation. Size Eyes on the Sky starts right now.
Monday night on ISU TV. Broadcasting live from Ames, Iowa. This is Size Eyes on the Skies. ISU TV's longest running television show brings you the weather around the country in Iowa, Ames, and beyond. The Iowa State Meteorology Department's team of forecasters keeps you ahead of the next weather system. Size Eyes on the Skies starts now.
And welcome back. I am joined here by our good friend Clayton Short.
How's it going? Nah, you know, just surviving through school and whatnot.
Yeah, about the same for all of us. Spring break couldn't come fast enough in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
But some quiet weather around here today, but there is a storm system affecting much of the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region right now, bringing in significant amounts of snow.
There is a monster brewing out there to the north of us. You're going to see in my forecast across Wisconsin, Pick City, they're about to get 9 to 11 inches of snow. Here in Iowa, Zach Sharpe, I believe, is going to have that, but I know we're going to get some, I believe, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting where it actually ends up following the track, so it's been changing day to day.
And, you know, besides this storm affecting us, much of the other country, especially out west, is fairly quiet.
Yeah.
There's not much going on.
Yeah, there's not a lot
now.
going on country-wise besides in the Midwest, and then once the storm moves out of the Midwest, up the East Coast, so once that moves out, it's going to be quiet for a few days, and then we'll see after that. So.
All right, that sounds good. We're going to jump over to Zach here and see what he has to say about our Iowa forecast.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Zach Sharpe, how's it going?
I'm pretty good, just like Clayton surviving school right now.
Yeah. So Iowa, like we said with Clayton, pretty quiet today. Temperature's not too bad.
Yeah.
A little breezy, but nothing we're not out of the ordinary.
Like I said, calm before the storm, and it's going to eventually move in this later tonight, and I'll have a full timing breakdown later on. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at the day planner tonight. Tonight, or tomorrow around 7 a.m., excuse me, that snow showers will be around with a temperature around 25, and those showers will persist around the noon hour with a temp only a couple degrees warmer around 27. And by 4 p.m., we'll start to have those snow showers eventually decreasing with a temperature around 29. So we'll stay pretty consistent with temperatures tomorrow, but those snow showers will be lingering throughout the day tomorrow, and I'll have that full breakdown coming up in a bit.
All right, sounds good. So certainly maybe some tricky walking on those sidewalks.
You can bet that.
All right, sounds good. Well, we're going to send to our first commercial break, but make sure you come right back as we're going to take a look at your national forecast with Clayton. Stay tuned.
Forecast. Let's take a look here what's going on up here. You got 26 here in Minneapolis, 32 in Chicago, 50 in my hometown, St. Louis, right here. Let's go over here. You got 28 in Denver, 28 in Billings. That big low pressure is here, which is causing these cold temperatures to dip down, which is why down here, let's say in Dallas, 81, and like I said earlier, 50 in St. Louis. Tomorrow's forecast, you've got snow in Minneapolis. Snow down St. Louis, a high of 39. I can get the clicker. There we go. 32 in Chicago, apparently. The snow. Tomorrow's forecast here locally in the region, we've got 31 in Des Moines, 30 in Minneapolis, 29 in Madison with that heavy, heavy snow coming down. Looks like they're going to get about 10 inches or so. There we go. And we're going to move in here. Here's the low pressure that Zach Sharpe will be talking about in more detail coming up in his Iowa segment. Let's go to Futurecast here. You got the low pressure up here in Minneapolis. It's going to move through the upper Midwest, through Chicago. It's going to move out on the East Coast into New York City. And it's going to move out in the Atlantic Ocean. So, for the Pick City this week, chose lacrosse. I chose lacrosse. 70% chance of snow. I think that's a little off. Actually, I would give that 100% chance of snow, high of 32. It looks like they're going to be about 9 to 11 inches. They're under winter storm warning now. Once that moves out, the weather actually looks really nice. High of 30 on Wednesday. Thursday, high of 34. Look at Saturday, though, folks. 41 and rain, which is really interesting. And then later in the week, temperatures cool off, and you get 36 on Sunday and 35 on Monday with a slight chance of maybe a snow shower in there. That's all I have. Back to Nathan Coy for your trivia question of the day.
Thanks, Clayton. Certainly some interesting weather in that part of the Midwest. But speaking of snow, we're going to take a look at your trivia question. What was the greatest snowfall from a single snowstorm ever recorded? Is it A, 45 inches, B, 70 inches, C, 189 inches, or D, 100 inches? We're going to take a look at that answer and your Iowa forecast when we return right after this break. And welcome back. We're going to take another look at that trivia question. What was the greatest snowfall from a single snowstorm ever recorded? Is it A, 45 inches, B, 70 inches, C, 189 inches, or D, 100 inches? The answer to this question is C, 189 inches. Could you imagine getting that much snow from just one snowstorm that actually occurred out in the Shasta Mountains out in California way back ages ago? But speaking of snow, we're going to see if we can get any snow ourselves with Zach Sharpe on the wall.
I promise you, Nate, nothing that big anytime soon. But taking a look outside Studio B right now, 33 degrees with an east wind at 7 miles per hour. And that humidity is really up there tonight at 81% and that dew point at 28 degrees. Taking a look at current temps across the state right now, Fort Dodge is reporting in at 30, Perry 33, Boone 32, and a nice warm 36 degrees in Ankeny and Des Moines. So if we go ahead and zoom out here, we can take a look at current temps across the state. Council Bluffs is even warmer at 37 degrees, 34 in Sioux City, a very cool 28 degrees in Mason City. They've been experiencing snowfall all afternoon, so that's why they've been cooler. And Southwest Iowa's experienced some sun, so that's why they've cranked up the temperatures this afternoon. So taking a look at forecasted lows tonight, 27 in the city of Des Moines, 25 in Ames, 26 in Council Bluffs, about the same, mid-20s, lower 20s throughout the state of Iowa. So take a look at forecast highs tomorrow, 30 degrees in Ames, 31 in Des Moines, 33 in Council Bluffs, and a cooler 29 degrees in Sioux City. We're going to be underneath some snow showers and clouds, which will inhibit some warmth tomorrow. So taking a look at clouds and radar right now, we have some low stratus clouds with a few snow showers up in Mason City. They've received some snow showers about 1 to 2 inches up here this afternoon. And then we're watching out here to the west, and this will be our next snowmaker as it slides on the way up into Iowa. It's part of a low pressure, which is all the way up in North Dakota, and this is a cold front dipping down into Kansas, and eventually will push its way into central Iowa. So what we can expect for tonight, freezing rain before midnight. Some minor accumulations are expected, nothing major, just may cause little slick spots out tonight, so be careful. Snow switching over after midnight, and eventually we'll get some snow accumulations of 2 to 5 inches by tomorrow. So taking a look at Futurecast, we're going to break this down. We're going to stop the clock at 7 o'clock tonight, and then this will push its way on through. Futurecast painting in some light freezing rain possibly down here in southwest Iowa, snow in the northern parts where it's cooler right now, and we continue on through, and it switches all over to midnight, and then eventually we'll have these heavy snow bands, maybe 1 to 2 inches per hour possibly, and by tomorrow morning when we're waking up going to class, the snow showers will still be over Ames and pushing to the east, and finally on the backside we'll have some very windy conditions, and eventually this will all push out and the winds will eventually die down by Wednesday. So go ahead and take a look at forecasted snowfall. Our models are maybe a touch overdoing it here in Ames with 4.5 inches to 8.3 inches in Waterloo, and all the way out in western Iowa you can see where that rain really inhibits any snowfall, causing very little snowfall, if anything, to a trace. So taking a look, because of these heavy snowfall, we have a winter storm warning which goes into effect now until 6 p.m. on Tuesday. And if we go ahead and take a look on the other side where snowfalls aren't the greatest but 2 to 4 inches is possible, we have a winter weather advisory until noon on Tuesday. And so tonight we expect 2 to 5 inches possible, freezing drizzle early with a low of 25 with a northwest wind of 8 to 13 miles per hour. Tomorrow, snow before noon with some gusty winds on the backside, gusting up to 31 miles per hour with a high of 28. And then take a look at your 7-day forecast. After we get through the snowstorm on Tuesday, we really start to quiet down with a high of 31 on Wednesday, 34 on Tuesday. We really start to warm it up by weekend, 40 on Friday, even warmer on Saturday with a high of 41. But I don't know if you can take a look at Sunday there, 42, and on Monday, a high of 43, maybe a slight few rain showers and drizzle on the weekend. But otherwise, once we get past tomorrow, it will quiet down and we start to crank up the temperatures, turn the furnace on. So
Finally quiet down. 2 weeks ago we had a storm. We thought it'd bring a lot of snow. Blah, blah, 4. University shut down for no reason.
Yeah.
Last week, storm we thought would bring nothing, maybe only an inch or two, brought us 10.
Yeah.
And now this week we're going to get a few more. People are probably sick of getting the snow, but we sure needed it with the moisture here in Iowa.
It's definitely been a wacky winter, and I've been talking to people on campus for weeks now. When is spring going to get here?
Yes.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for spring and bring on the storm
Well,
chasing.
meteorological spring has already started.
It has.
True.
That it has.
But everyone's official spring doesn't start for another couple weeks. But by this weekend, maybe it will start. When we go from 28 to 43, that's a nice increase in temperature. So maybe it will start to feel like spring, but definitely not.
I hope so. I don't know if it's the short weather yet, but
I don't know if you remember
last
last spring break, we had temperatures in the mid 80s.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Terrific.
But which started
Very
the
warm
big
weather.
drought, so we don't want that.
Yeah, there's always consequence.
Yes.
It's true.
Well, if we get this snow tonight, melt it off, and get that chance of rain coming this weekend, that could significantly help those drought conditions we have across central Iowa, and much of the Midwest really will have a big relief
I
from
know
this.
coming in the studio here, forecast models have been slightly shifting the storm to the southwest, just a tad. Not a lot to increase our snow chances. It only increased it about an inch. I know earlier we were talking 1 to 3, now we're 2 to 5. So not a whole lot, but we'll take any moisture we can get.
Enough to make travel tricky in the morning. I'm sure some of the schools, if you have siblings out there, are going to be delayed tomorrow morning, just like this morning.
Yeah.
I know there was a few this afternoon that let out, and I'm sure there's going to be a few tomorrow
It was
morning.
mostly that northeast corner of the state.
Where they're going to get up to
8 to 12 inches possibly.
so
But
right into the
9
lacrosse
to
area.
11 in lacrosse, so
Yeah,
we'll
but
see. It should be interesting
the
up there.
big factor on the backside of this is the wind.
Yep.
We're gusting
Yep.
up to 31, maybe even 35 miles per hour, so it's going to get pretty gusty on the backside.
Especially as far as I understand, in that corridor where they're going to get that heavy snow, the winds are really going to be pushing. So people need to be careful out there on the roads.
Especially late tonight when there's a chance for freezing drizzle. So.
Yeah, that's always dangerous. But back to those warm temperatures, right? A little something funny happened today in southern Wisconsin.
Oh, yes, yes.
Warmer temperatures come storms, but the National Weather Service in Milwaukee, Sullivan, ended up issuing a tornado warning. It was a test.
It was a test.
But it showed up in all the maps and came through all the phone messages and all the multimedia TV screens. And it's probably the biggest tornado warning you've ever seen because it was for every county in southern and southeast Wisconsin, all 18, 20 counties, whatever it was. So it was certainly interesting, to say the least. But, I mean, you're never going to see a tornado warning that big. So a lot of people freaked out from it for sure.
Yeah, no, I know you were showing all the messages from back at home. Everyone's like, what's the big tornado warning?
And everyone's like, snow tornadoes? No.
Yeah, no.
It was a test.
As my colleague Zach Sharpe liked to say today, Wedge Fest. Wedge Fest occurred.
We're waiting for it, but not quite.
Although we look at forecast model Fantasyland quite a bit, and there is a few chances way out. But
This weekend, potentially, maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially, maybe Saturday. We'll see.
We'll keep our eye on that one.
There's nothing too much out there right now as far as least as the Storm Prediction Center and the Weather Service can see.
Yes.
But something to keep an eye on because, as everyone knows, it can come out of nowhere, literally.
Yeah, it can shift 100 miles overnight.
Yes, we've experienced that
Yeah.
last week.
I believe
But
Severe Weather Awareness Week
Is
is
in 2 weeks.
coming up here soon
actually,
as well.
this week is National Severe Weather Preparedness Week.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And I know Iowa and many surrounding states will have theirs within the next month drawn out. Iowa, I think we have ours this month. Wisconsin has theirs middle of April. And Minnesota's around the same time frame too. So
the Severe Weather Awareness Week, I think that's the week after our spring break. So I think it's the very last week in March. So
yeah, it's certainly right around the corner. Snow will be gone, and pretty soon we'll have spring-like temperatures. Hopefully, we don't get a middle of April snowstorm.
Yeah.
Cross our fingers
yeah,
on that
hopefully
one.
we get a middle of April tornado break. So.
Well, yeah.
We'll see
for
about
us.
that.
For us.
But speaking of snow, if you get any pictures whatsoever of this snow or any storms we have coming this weekend, with the rainfall, melting snow, make sure you send us our pictures on our Facebook page, Size Eyes. Also, you can see all of our videos that we do on our YouTube page. And also like us on Twitter. I know our two producers in the back, Sam Shire and Justin Keller, update those pages a lot.
Yes.
The Facebook and Twitter pages.
Especially with big winter storms or
with
severe
winter
weathers.
storms, they'll
Yeah.
put out every morning. It seems like there's a forecast that's put out. So they do a pretty good job on that. So make sure you like those. Stay up to date on the weather. But as far as tonight goes with the storm, come back Wednesday as we'll take a look at the weekend warm-up and the rain showers coming this weekend. But for Zach Sharpe, Clayton Short, and myself, have a great evening. Good night.